first video is too long, so I have to redo it without as much. Okay, so I can do this. Okay. That was really eloquent opening. Alright, so back to my inbox now. Okay, so my first question is from Uni. His URL is Jim Kirkism. His question is, do you think Dean was being entirely truthful with the speech to Sam at the end of Sacrifice? His face seemed rather resigned, and his statements kind of contradicted what he went through trying to get Kaz back to Earth from Purgatory. Okay, so I don't really understand how he wouldn't be being truthful. Like, I thought it was pretty, like, consistent character-wise with Dean's usual, feelings towards Sam. Like, I thought it was pretty, I mean, like, I'm really curious to see what you have to say about it. If you think, because I know you're writing a meta on it, I think. So, I'm really curious to see what you have to say on it, but because it came across to me as very sincere. So, I'm sorry that I don't really have any better input on that, but, yeah, that's my answer. Okay, so Anonymous asked me, who is most awesome, Jensen, Misha, or Jared? I struggle answering this, so I'm going to cop out and say all three, because I can't pick a favorite. Like, who can? They're all so adorable, and I was gonna say scruffy, but they're not, they're kind of scruffy, and they're just cute and funny and huge, and okay, that's my answer, all three of them. Alright. Mischief and Chaos ask, where is the best place you've ever visited? Okay, so, some really cool places I've visited are Vancouver, which is very friendly. There are lots of bikers. Okay, so I don't care if this video is too long, I'm going into this story. This is called The Bike Ride to Hell. It's not that interesting of a story. So we're kind of going along, you know, and it's like, so we're like, oh, let's go on a 5-mile bike ride, which I'm not a biker, so I'm like, a 5-mile bike ride isn't exactly luxurious, but I was like, why not? So we're kind of going on this bike ride, right? And we're like, yeah, 5 miles. And like, we're like getting into downtown Vancouver, like, you know what, this gotta be the right path. There's still bike paths and stuff like that. Well, it's goddamn Vancouver, so there are bike paths everywhere. Like, there's probably bike paths out in the middle of the freaking country. So we're like going along, whatever, it's like 10 miles, like 15 miles, and then we're like, where the fuck are we? And so we like stop at this beach house or whatever, and we're like, okay, we're just following the path, like, how do we get back to Vancouver? And the guy working at the beach house is like, turn around. We like turn around, he's like, see that city over there? It's like this small city, like, on the horizon or something. We're like, yeah, and he's like, that's Vancouver. Like, that's the direction you need to go. So we're like, fuck. So we biked all the way back there, and that's why it's called the Bike Ride from Hell, because my legs were soup after, and it was a 25-mile bike ride. And you know how much I've biked in the past? 1 mile. Probably not even that. So Vancouver was awesome. I went to Ireland when I was 9, so I don't really remember it. It's very green. But I would love to go back to Ireland, honestly. And then my favorite place of all time is Lake of the Ozarks, because I basically grew up there, and it is my second home, and I'm very happy there, so. Okay, so Paper Halos asked, I don't know what question I'm supposed to ask, so why are you so fab? And my answer to this is, I am not fab. I am the most uncool person you will ever meet. I would say that the only things that make me fab, and by fab I mean not cool, are my owning of M&Ms and my crying over television shows. And by fab, like I said, I mean completely uncool. But thank you for your question. Misha Smells Like Sunshine asks, when did you first start watching Supernatural, and what is your favorite episode? This is an interesting story. By interesting story, I mean completely non-interesting. But here it is. So Supernatural was recommended to me by like a lot of my friends, like at school, who I knew, and I was like, I really have to start watching the show. I think I'd really like it. Like, it seems like something I'd be really into, and I saw some stuff from around Tumblr, so I told my friends, like, don't watch the show without me. So, you know, la-di-da, they're like, yeah, whatever, sure. Unsuspecting me, I go off on vacation. I come back and they're like, guess what? I'm like, what? They're like, we watched the first season of Supernatural. I was like, oh, fuck you. Are you kidding me? So, yes, they'd watched the first season of Supernatural, and I was kind of stuck in this promise. I was indebted to another friend to watch it. And so I was going to Florida with my best friend. I went over to her house. She was on the season 3 finale. And I go like, no, I don't want to see any of this. Like, either talking about selling soul nonsense, and I was like, I haven't seen any of the seasons, like, I don't want to be spoiled. Caleb's like, well, my best friend. She's like, well, you can stay here and watch it with me, or you can leave because I'm watching it because it's the finale. So I sit down and I'm like, where's Cass? Like, where's Cass? She's like, no, you don't get to ask where Cass is. You've been watching the show for a total of 15 minutes. You don't get to be asking where he is when I've been waiting for 3 seasons. And I was like, where is he? I hear all this stuff about him. And so I'm like watching, like getting used to the show. Like it's like, yeah, wow, their voices are really deep. Like the show is very violent, but I think I get used to that. It's kind of like, getting used to the characters. And then Dean dies. And I was like crying my eyes out, like, what the fuck? I met this guy like 30 minutes ago and I was attached. So Caitlin's like, welcome to Supernatural. So that was my little jump start into that show. And then we started watching Lazarus Rising, and I was an annoying bitch through all of season 4 because every episode I was like, where's Cass? Where's Cass? And Caitlin's like, the show's good without Cass. I was like, I know, but I still love him because I was like obsessed with him from the first scene I saw of him in Lazarus Rising. So it was a bad situation. So that's how I got started watching the show. My favorite episodes, I'm gonna go through this fast because I'm already on 6 minutes. Oh my god, how does this even happen? So favorite episodes. Faith, basically all of season 2. Lazarus Rising. On the Head of a Pin. It's like, favorite episode. I like love that episode. So I guess that means I do have favorite, but it's not like but I have like a bunch of favorite episodes. And then Little Rapture, Lucifer Rising, Free to Be You and Me. Notice the general trend of Destiel. That tends to be the trend. The End. Love that episode. Changing Channels is fantastic. No Point of No Return, also great. I love that one. Swan Song makes me cry. I also love The Man Who Would Be King, even though I'm like rolling around on the floor every time I watch it. Like that Superman line absolutely kills me. You know exactly which one I'm talking about. So those are my favorite episodes. That was Misha Smells Like Sunshine. Thank you. Somebody used my question on me, which is what's your favorite flavor Jolly Rancher? That's like my go-to question for everything, but coincidentally enough, I have never been asked that question before, and so I will have you know it as apple, which apparently is weird. Stop shaking the bed, dog! She's chasing her tail. My favorite flavor is apple, which is unlike everyone else's favorite, which is the watermelon or that nasty-ass blue shit. Stop it, you're so annoying. So thank you, Anon. Carly, Dean's Grace, asked, do you write when you have inspiration, or do you try to suckle it out bit by bit with an aid, music, candles, etc.? If the latter, what do you use, and how does it help you? Okay, so in high school, I wrote a shit ton. Like, every single day. Like, at least a million words. Maybe not a million, but I wrote at least 700K on the projects I was working on. God knows how much I wrote on the other projects I was working on, so like somewhere around 1 million in there. So by the time I got to college, this was my first year of college, I was completely wiped out. So I didn't write at all this year. So I got into this habit of kind of like only writing when I had inspiration, which is not a good situation because my creative writing teacher was like, oh, you only get inspiration like 3 times a year, so you should try and write every day. So yeah. When I'm trying to write, I usually use like instrumental music or food. That's why I have M&M's up here because I'm doing a horrible job writing right now. So yeah, there you go. I do love candles though. They don't allow them in my dorm room. It makes me so sad because I just love candles. This isn't my room, by the way. My room's a lot more awesome. Somebody asked, can you do a tarot reading for me? I don't know who the fuck you are, so I have no idea how to read your tarot, but I can draw like a card for you and see what it says about your future. I'm kidding. Tarot cards are not fortune-telling cards. They read your psychological state, and I just started reading them like earlier in the week. Where did they go? That's promising. Here they are. Ooh. So I'm gonna shuffle this up and see what it says. Oh, they look like this, by the way. They're really pretty, and I'm like obsessed with them. My dog is being really annoying right now, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry that my hair looks like some sea creature of the night. I don't know what's going on today. So this is what the tarot deck says about you. The King of Cups. If you notice, he looks like Tyler Posey, doesn't he? So the King of Cups, basically, is a good card to get for Tumblr because the King of Cups represents creative intelligence and general friendliness, which I associate with Tumblr. So there you go. But yeah, we call that the Tyler Posey card because it looks like Tyler Posey. I'm running on 9 minutes. Good timing. Okay, Octopus Box asked, what should I draw for you? Is this too much of a questionception? You can draw for me whatever your little heart desires, like Dean, Cass, Sam. Love all of them. If you're into Supernatural or like any TV show, I'll probably love it. So, yeah. Okay, so Hunter's Life asked, do you like the sound of your voice? Yes, I want to make you self-aware on camera. Also, your voice is fine, girl. You know what? I used to be really self-conscious about my voice when I was younger. because I thought it sounded really deep and man-like. No, I don't care. I'm like, whatever, my voice is fine. Like, I just, like, I don't know when I stopped caring, like, in high school. I was just like, you know what? If you don't like my voice, fuck you, we can't be friends. I'm kidding. I actually don't really care that much, but I was, like, born this way or whatever Lady Gaga says, so there you go. Tickle My Toes asked, if you could trade hair with anyone, fictional or real, who would it be? David Tennant. That's not even a question. Next question. Could be worse, right? Ask, okay, question for your video. What's your plan for taking over the world? Bonus points if your answer includes the use of watermelons. Now, where's my brownie at? I could fax the brownie to you if anybody actually uses. I don't even know how to use a fax machine. Anybody remember floppy disks? Yeah, you know you're like a 90s kid when. Oh god, I just used the term 90s kid. I'm sorry. So what was the question? Oh shit. Okay, my plan for taking over the world. So I was thinking we could like lace the watermelons with like a that's like the 7th season of Supernatural. But like we could like drug the watermelons and then like I could start this cult or whatever, this like worldwide cult, and then slowly everyone would join the cult. We'd go to like all these like little small towns, we'd feed everyone the watermelon, and then they would join the cult until the whole world would join the cult. And it would be called Clairvoyance because my name is Claire, and it would be extremely clever and punny. So that's my plan for taking over the world, and I get bonus points because I involved watermelons. My dog's licking my feet, so I'm mildly distracted. White Library Ninja asked, what's the hardest part about your writing process? I'm always curious to see what other people do to overcome it. I get so easily frustrated with mine. For me, the hardest part of writing is actually starting the writing. Like, it's not that I am lazy, but it's like, it's also like, just like wrapping your head around, okay, you have to write. Like, that's the hardest part for me. But like, mechanics-wise, I'd say that definitely, like, one of my flaws as a writer is, I'm just not very good at writing setting. Like, I know certain writers that are very good at writing setting, like, just very vivid setting writers, and they have a way of making you feel like you're there. I'm not so good at that. I get kind of touchy around setting because I'm afraid it sounds too exposition-y, or, like, it'll be too boring or long passagey or purple prose, so I tend to, like, steer away from huge setting descriptions, but as a result, I sometimes accidentally forget to do it, because I forget that, like, not the readers don't like have the same vision in their head as I do of what it looks like. So that's probably the hardest part for me, like in the actual writing process, is writing setting and exposition, because I hate things that sound contrived. And so like exposition just always sounds contrived to me. That's why I like writing dialogue, because dialogue comes a lot more naturally. So that's like my favorite part of writing. This is horrible lighting. Like, it's just really gross. Like, washes you out. So I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Wow, I like beat this video in like 4 short minutes because I cut all the tangential stories. Okay, I don't know what to ask you, but you ask me, so I have to obey. How are you? I am good. How are you, Redfish? I'm good. How are you? So that's a good. And I know Nixie had a question she wanted to ask me, and I was like, oh, I finished the video, but now I'm like doing it again. So maybe she asked me a question. Let me see. Let me refresh. Somebody just sent me a compliment. It's so nice. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna respond to that. That's really nice. Okay. Ooh. So since we have extra time, you guys can see my dog. Maggie, come here. God, you're such a struggle. Just get on the bed. Oh my god. Come here. God, you're so weak. You're so weak. Come on, ready? By the way, my sister has a demonic hamster. She had one named Azazel, but it died, which I'm like, that's what you get for naming a hamster Azazel. And so she named this one Mal, after the Firefly character. I'm like, why would you name a hamster Mal? And then it turned out to be evil. Like, she put a towel over the cage, and it chewed a hole through my towel. And it's evil. It just, like, curls up in there and stinks up her room. Like, why did you get a hamster? Like, they're evil. So this is my dog. Maggie, come here. Ew, what the fuck is that? This is my dog. Say hi. No, not to me. Say hi. God, you smell bad. She was at the lake all weekend, so she's jumping in and... Ah! Okay, this is almost 15 minutes, so I'm gonna end it now. If you're watching this, you are a saint. You should be canonized or something. Is that the right term? Okay. Or you should be like a relic. Which actually, my pointer finger is like a 3rd-degree relic because I supposedly touched a splinter of the wood of Jesus' cross. So I am holy. Yeah. So... I can't believe that's how I'm going to end this video, but there you have it. Hasta luego.